Hello, beautiful beings. Dante here. We're out here in the beautiful green on a bright, sunshiny day. In this video, I'm going to talk about how to stop taking on energy from other people and instead use that gift of being an empath to support you. And in the end, there will be a meditation that can help you to tap into a clear channel so that you don't have to take as many of these energies on. So the first thing to sort of explain is this law of resonance. And through the law of resonance, it is, in a sense, impossible to really keep your vibration from shifting and adjusting to other people's energy. And when you get this, then you can decide how much you are really wanting to change your own frequency for the sake of others. So in this law of resonance, everything is vibration, and every being is vibrating at a different frequency based upon their own limiting beliefs and their own level of consciousness, where they are in connection with source and allowing that energy to flow. Varying levels. And we can understand this law of resonance also through energy medicine, how crystals and plants and places all have a different vibration that comes to affect our own energy field as well. And by tuning into that and tapping into that as a medicine, our frequency in turn changes. This is always happening with other people. When we meet people at a certain level of consciousness and start to have an interaction, maybe one person's here and the other person's there, both people will shift their frequency to meet somewhere in the middle. And this will happen with every interaction. So there's a good side to this and a challenging side, that if you are constantly engaging with people of a lower frequency, your energy is going to be dipping down. Though if you have those core people that lift you up and bring you to a stable frequency, or if there's, teachings you can watch and things that you connect with that keep your frequency raising up, then that balances things out. The same is always taking place with channeled beings as well. So I've learned to tap into this frequency of the Pleiadian Council. They're vibrating up here, I'm vibrating here. We meet somewhere in the middle, and there's this blend of frequencies that allows them to come through my channel. And that's a very uplifting experience as well. But because they're still of a higher frequency than me, it can be kind of intense feeling even after a long time of doing it. And you see this also common in a lot of Eastern traditions and spiritual traditions, where there's this idea of Shaktipat and Darshan, the blessing of the guru or the saint, where people come to receive this energy from this higher frequency consciousness human, and just by being in that presence, energy raises. So understanding that, it's first of all just really important who you choose to spend time with and why you choose to spend time with them. Are you keeping up relationships of a lower vibration because you're afraid of losing people, or afraid that you're not going to get better connections in your life again? Are you just keeping them around because it's habit and you don't want to hurt them? And so it's important to really ask these questions and make sure that we surround ourselves with people who lift us up, because we can never progress spiritually and manifest lives that we really prefer if we're constantly hanging out with people who drag us down. So also key in this is having boundaries, energetic boundaries, and boundaries that we enact through our words and our actions and our body language. How close do we want to let people in, and how much do we want to keep them at a distance? So we raise in frequency in the highest way when we really create strong and intimate bonds with people. Though if some people in our lives are toxic and having this dense energy, it can be a harm for us to really let them in. And it's important to learn the difference. And it's something that we learn from experience, but even beyond that, we learn from the feeling in our body. Do people lift us up and make us feel filled with love and energy, or does it feel like as soon as we come in contact with them, there's a heaviness and a weight that comes over us? So we have to let go of the sense that we are there to please others, or that we are a good or a bad person based on our actions with others. A lot of people who don't have this core positive self-concept already developed will continuously just give themselves over to others again and again because they don't feel good in themselves, and to give away their energy and their time to other people makes them feel good and worthy. So can we challenge those concepts of our self-concept? Are we able to see ourselves as infinitely beautiful and infinitely worthy of love, and our connection to source and our goodness is not dependent upon what we do or don't do for other people? Once that belief is in place, it's a lot harder to sabotage ourselves by giving away all of our energy. So when we are in these engagements with people, it's really okay to say things like, I don't have the time and space for this interaction. I'm at my capacity. I love you and respect you, though I need to take a step away. Learning to say no is opening up this great power within us, and it allows us to really say what we have space for and what we don't. A lot of people are constantly in yes mode, and by saying yes all the time, for one, you do get more opportunities, but you might not always get the right opportunities. It's easier to change a no to a yes than it is a yes to a no. So if you start off with your baseline at no, then you can gradually kind of work your way into a yes as you take the time to truly and deeply connect with your intuition, so that yes is a full-hearted yes. Never say yes to something when there's half-heartedness there, because the energy that you make a commitment with and you put your yes or affirmation into is always going to carry with you. So if you're feeling uncertain about it, you're going to rest in that uncertainty the whole time. Though if you come to a solid conclusion within yourself of if this really feels good or not, and if this really aligns with your values and your intentions now or not, then that energy is going to carry with you as well. So yes, being able to say yes and no is really key. And this is all having to do with our solar plexus chakra, because here in our solar plexus, this mid part of our body below our heart, around our rib cage, yellow chakra, fire, personal power, this chakra develops through being able to have preferences. And oftentimes in our childhood, we are kind of told what's going to happen in our lives and told what we're going to do, and we don't really have a choice about it. And that diminishes our ability to say yes or say no or discover what we want. And the more we individuate and allow for a healthy understanding of who we are and what we want that isn't just giving our power away to other people, the more we then have the power to create our lives, discover our unique passion, and when we become all of ourselves fully, then our frequency naturally raises. So that's really key. Boundaries are key. Another thing that's really important in not taking on other people's energy is going beyond sympathy. Sympathy is different than empathy. The sympathy is to feel with somebody. Empathy is to feel within somebody. So in sympathy, you are almost taking pity on them. It's like you separate yourself, you keep a distance from them. But in that separation, when you're not seeing yourselves as one, it's like it makes the pain of it worse for both of you, because they're over there and you're here, and you're seeing yourself as, having it good, and them as kind of having it bad, and you're kind of bringing them down more. And some people really just want company in their misery. Misery loves company. Though when you commiserate, you bring both frequencies down. When you have compassion instead, you're able to really see yourself as one with the other person and see the unique struggles. Perhaps in a similar way, not as extreme, you're suffering through the same thing that they're suffering with. And With compassion, you're not seeing them as wrong or less than for what they're experiencing. You're not seeing them as a victim either. You're seeing them as somebody who is transforming this denser energy, and you're able to love them and respect them. So always understand that, everything is one, and we're not separate beings. So someone else's sympathy, somebody else's suffering is your suffering, though it doesn't mean it's something that you have to take on. You can work with that energy at a distance by breathing in and sending them love. And you don't have to solve everyone's problems. We, as empaths, can be very conditioned to just fix it for other people, though they have to kind of go through it in themselves. And when you share somebody's sympathy, you're often not empowering them. You're often being like, oh, they're there. Like, this is, I'm so sorry you're going through this. That's so terrible. It's reinforcing it in them. And, a lot of people don't want to hear these messages of trust, that it's all working out, there's a divine plan. It's a shame that you're feeling that way, and it's going to get better. You're an empowered being. And there is a fine line between saying those in a way that are victim shaming and saying those in a way that are really empowering people. And with time, you'll learn the difference. So just keep your heart open. And it costs you a lot more energy when your heart closes than it does to keep your heart open and have boundaries. When your heart stays open and you keep somebody at a distance because you're not having the capacity to work with what they're working with at that moment, then your energy raises and their energy raises in love as well. And it isn't always easy. And that's just kind of the trick of this existence, is to see the positive even within the negative. So, okay, I'll share this meditation now. As I first wanted to explain those things, because you can't use this idea of channeling light energy in as a means of keeping your frequency high if you aren't having boundaries and if you are seeing others as separate. So that's the first important thing to remember. And once you have those boundaries in place and you're understanding how all this frequency works, you can work with this tool. So close your eyes and connect with your breath for a moment. Breathe into your body. Imagine that as you fill your body with breath, your whole body is filling with a brilliant light. Remembering some moments where you felt the greatest love and connection, beautiful spiritual experiences, or times of connection in nature, or with beautiful art, spirituality. Maybe you remember some people that you love. And take a deep breath in and smile, even if you're not able to connect with that energy. Just force it. It's okay to force it sometimes. Connect with your spine, making it straight, and picture now a great column or pillar of light that opens up around your body with its center in your spine. See it about 3 yards or 3 meters in diameter, and see that pillar of light going all the way down to the center of the earth and all the way up to the center of the universe. Now imagine light pouring into you. Imagine light filling you down with your crown open, energy pouring all the way down to your feet, and energy rising from the earth. Imagine you have brilliant roots of light that grow through all of the layers of the earth, down to the earth's core and center. Feel this energy rising up all the way through your body. And as these energies meet in your heart, imagine your heart growing open. And perhaps the energy also flows to your hands, where you're able to channel energy outward through your body. And in this connected flow of energy, bring to your consciousness certain people in your life that vibrate at a certain lower frequency, a negative energy. Perhaps they're entities as well, if you're dealing with negative entities around you. Just imagine them around you, and imagine them pouring this light, some negative light, towards you. And actually allow it to flow in through this channel of light. Flowing into your heart, but feeling that now as you are connected through your upper chakras into the cosmos, your lower chakras into the earth, this energy just passes through your channel. You may feel it, you may be aware of it, but it doesn't touch you, and it just returns to source. And perhaps even now deflect this energy. Maybe you even feel your hands activate as a pushing mechanism. And again, feel this energy of negativity coming towards you. And feel it stopping 3 yards or 3 meters away from your body, as this pillar of light creates a force field that allows that negativity to pass away. And then imagine light pouring out from your heart and from your hands over to those people or those entities, and sending them compassion, recognizing that anyone who's sending you negative energy is suffering. And you can have compassion for their suffering, like a Buddha, like a little bodhisattva. Slowly open your eyes and come back. And so you can work with that tool at any time. You can just bring that energy and that light in and send love out to those around you. And when you regularly, before you go out, practice connecting in that way, keeping yourself open and aligned, it's a lot less likely that those energies around you can really come to harm you. So another thing that you can do is, if you've really had an experience that was negative and you took on some negative energy, then open that channel again and just imagine light pouring in to wash that stuff out. And shake it off really good. Shake, dance, even shower or clean yourself in some way, sage yourself. Those are really beautiful tools. And that way you can kind of let go whatever you may have picked up on. And again, understanding that sometimes we just have to work through these certain vibrations that are a bit heavy, like going through airports or like going to the grocery store. There are certain energies around us that may be very heavy and fear-based. I've not been in a grocery store in the COVID age, so I don't even know what that's like yet, but I'm sure that this tool is something that would really be helpful in those places. So finally, one thing to add on is that, opening to a non-dual perspective is really helpful. And this is a very yogic Eastern idea that pain and pleasure, loss and gain, they're all one and the same. So when you have a great resistance to what you perceive as negative, the negative that you experience will increase. If you understand that life is about the ebb and flow of pleasure and pain, loss and gain, of fame and shame, of all of these things. The up and down is part of what makes life a dynamic flow and what allows you to appreciate both sides of the coin. When you can get to that place inside, then it doesn't bother you as much, and you aren't in a state of resistance to all of those energies around you, and you're really able to just flow with whatever's arising in your life. And going back to those initial points, we have choice all the time. So you're obviously seeing this on a social media platform, and YouTube is perhaps a little bit less toxic than many of the others that we're dealing with at the moment. But even that energy that we read, that we scroll through, can really create a tension in our body. And so it's important that we send our energy back and outward to those other people as well, sending them love and compassion, staying centered in our own heart, and making sure that you really have clear choices as to, who you engage with, what you let in, what you send back. And as you do that, you will naturally go through a filtering process where the lower frequency energies will fall away, the higher frequency energies will come towards you. And the more you practice this, the easier it becomes. Let me know if you have any questions about how to keep your energy clear and open and not empathically take on these energies. And I guess the final thing is not really caring what other people think about you. You can understand this in doing some shadow work practices. Who triggers you the most in this world? Maybe it could be a public figure or people in your life. Who triggers you most? And then ask yourself, what qualities do I see in them that trigger me? Do I have those same qualities within myself? And if you play that game, you'll most certainly find that you do have many of those same qualities, and that most of this frustration towards others that humans in general experience is a projection of their own unresolved shadows. We can notice negative energy in other people without getting triggered by it, and that's called discernment. Though when there's this really heavy projecting critical energy, it's usually because we're being critical towards ourselves. So when you really understand that anyone who is treating you meanly, poorly, judging you, criticizing you, is externalizing their own internal hatred towards themselves, it's a lot easier to not care. There's a lovely meme yesterday that was like, when you stop internalizing the criticism from people who are in no way in a good place in their own lives, it's love and joy and self-love. So nice. Just love yourself and know that the love from outside is a shifting window. People come in and out of your life, and the more you have that love for yourself, the more it will be coming in from many, many, many sources. So I hope that helps you. Let me know if you have questions, and if there's anything you want me to share about in future videos. Many loves and much blessings to you today, and enjoy a bright, brilliant day.